All right, what up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we have Rosie Pova, who is a multi-published, award-winning children's author and kidlit writing coach. Rosie, how you doing?
Great. Thank you, Timmy. Thanks for having me.
Of course, no, thanks for hopping on the show, and we like to jump right in. So if you could start with telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you like to do for fun, that'd be great.
Just like you introduced me, I'm a children's author and writing coach. That's what I love doing. I love writing stories, publishing my books, and then also going to schools to visit and interact with the kids. And then on the other hand, I also help aspiring authors reach their goals and dreams. Um, so that is what I do, and it really gives me a great pleasure doing that. So what I do for fun is read and write because that's fun to me too. But yeah, I would, I love watching funny movies, taking walks, going traveling, just things like that.
Yeah, I love it. What is a funny movie, just off the top of your head?
Well, 51st dates or it's just rom-com. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
50 First Dates.
There's so many.
That's with Adam Sandler, right?
Yes, yes. Well, all of his movies and just mostly comedies or action comedies. That's what I like.
Gotcha. Have you ever seen the like action comedies with like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart?
Yes, yes, I have.
I love when they're in movies together, like the Jumanji movies. I think there were some where they were like CIA agents or something like that.
Yes, yes. So much fun. Yeah, those are the ones that at the end of the day, just I just want to relax and unwind and just watch those movies and have a great time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you actually go to schools and do you read your books to the kids? Do you just talk?
Well, it's more than just reading. It's actually reading is a very small part of it. What I do is I offer writing workshops. Mostly like as an author, I share my journey to publication. I share inside info with the kids about writing a story, how a book is made, what's involved, how we work with illustrators and editors, and just the whole journey, just to inspire them to be more creative, to go after their goals and write and read more because it doesn't matter what they would decide to do later on. Reading and writing is still important in every area of their lives. So um, that's yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much it.
absolutely. And when you're going to schools, are you going primarily to elementary schools? Are you doing high schools, middle schools?
Yes, primarily elementary schools because I write for that age group. I have several picture books and one middle grade novel. So my workshops are geared toward the elementary grade level students. And yeah, and they're amazing. The kids are just wonderful. I can see, the light in their eyes and how excited they are to meet me and have tons of questions for me. Always, always so creative and so fun.
Yeah, I love it. And so, a writing workshop, do you have to like really break it down into simplistic? Because I know writing can get complicated, you can have complicated terms, but I guess when you're presenting to elementary school kids, you kind of have to break it down into more simplistic terms. Is that right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And it's all tied to the curriculum. So it's actually reinforcing whatever they are already learning about writing and, revising and research and all of those things. So yes, it's definitely in their level, but with some extra, info as the life of a writer and just giving them tips on how to make their stories better, what's involved in storytelling, and just having fun because they're all engaging and you have to be, it's not like a class lesson, but it's more engaging that way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. And so, to schedule these workshops, are you just cold calling schools? Are you working with districts? Like, how does that work?
All of the above. I could be mailing some materials to the librarians. I could be meeting them at conferences, or working with the district. The different districts have different requirements. So, it depends on how sometimes the PTA is involved. So they're in charge of booking the author and everything. So in that case, I would be reaching out to the PTA. But yeah, all of the above, all the ways I can connect with librarians is a good way.
Gotcha. Well, there we go. Now we're going to jump into your motivation. So, what really gets you up and keeps you going every day?
Well, that passion that I have because I really enjoy what I'm doing. It's I can't wait to get started. It doesn't feel like any job that I'm going to or any thing that I want to avoid doing. It's just the opposite. It's a lot of fun for me. That's what I love doing. So I would do it regardless, and I've done it for so many years. It's just, yeah, like I said, that passion, that fulfillment that I have from both the writing process, and then sharing my stories with my audience, and helping other writers.
There we go. There we go. And do you only help aspiring children writers? Do you also work with adult writers?
Um, as of now, with children's right, because that is what I write, and that's what I have experience in. Even though I've been published as an adult poet as well, but I have a soft spot for particularly picture books. So that is what I love doing the most.
There we go. And now we are going to jump into your dreams and goals. So tell us about your vision for your company and just your life.
Yeah, so career wise, yeah, that two-part dream, inspiring millions of kids, that would be amazing through both, through my characters and my stories, and through the school visits that I do. Um, and then on the other hand, helping those other writers who are just beginning their journey, or maybe like on their way to becoming published authors, but they still haven't been published, and just to help them as much as I can, because throughout the years I've learned so many things through making mistakes, and whatever I've learned, and whatever has helped me, I'm sure can help someone else. And so that is what I like sharing. As far as my personal life, yeah, being a great mom, traveling, and just being, having the best life possible.
Yeah, I love that. Um, how many kids do you have?
3.
Epic, epic. Are they going to write children's books as well, or are they kind of?
Not very likely, but one of them might be. I don't know yet. We'll see. Whatever they decide to do is fine. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And where are like top three places on your travel list that you want to go
That I haven't been
that
yet,
you have not been?
because
Yeah.
I have, yeah, okay, because I have places I want to go back to, but places I haven't been. Okay, maybe Japan. Um, um, let me see. Um,
Dubai.
Africa. Yes, 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 you got it. That is one. Yes, thank you. And Africa. So
Gotcha. Okay. There we go. There we go. Do you have any trips planned there, or are they just kind of like waiting to be planned?
not yet.
I'm going to get up to Dubai. Like that is a promise to myself. I think that place is so cool. The architecture is awesome, so I will go up there.
Exactly. That's been on my list for the longest time. So, yeah, hopefully in the near future.
There we go. There we go. Well, awesome. If there were one or two people that you could meet right now, and this could be a specific person or a type of person, and they'd really help you
Mhm.
take the next step towards inspiring millions of kids with your books and helping other children writers become published authors, who would this person be and how would they help you accomplish these things?
Yeah, so you said one or two, so I'm gonna go with two because there's so many. But um, well, Tony Robbins, that would be one person, very inspiring. His coaching is just out of this world. So definitely would be helpful to me. And then maybe Jack Canfield. I've been following him and his teachings and reading his books. But I'm sure that, in-person coaching would be a different experience. So, and he's himself a writer and a coach and all of those things. So I have definitely so much that I can learn from Jack.
Yeah. I've never heard of Jack Canfield, but here he is, motivational speaker, American writer.
Yes, yes, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Awesome. I love it. And just curious, for children's books, do you typically have to have a lesson or a moral in the story, or can you write one that's just for like funsies?
No, not really. It's actually the opposite. You have to avoid being, preachy and didactic and just, talking down to kids. Just tell a good story, and if they happen to have, a great takeaway, that's wonderful. But today's market is for like multi-layered stories, so they definitely have more than one thing that they can offer. But they will, before anything else, that would have to be entertaining to kids, and so kids can relate to them and want to read them over and over, especially with picture books. They're so short. They have lots of pictures, so that both of the pictures and text have to work together, and parents would have to be willing to read them over and over. So yeah, and if kids sense, that they're being thought like a lesson or a moral, they would not want to go back to that. But there's definitely just those books that are hilarious and quirky and humorous and have nothing to, just you read them for fun and you can laugh out loud many times over. But yeah.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I was gonna ask something, but my mind just blanked. Oh, that's annoying. Oh well. Moving on, moving on. Name
Okay.
the most important one or two things that everyday people can do to really help you accomplish your dreams and goals. So you meet Sally at the grocery store, and Sally's like, Rosie, how can I help you out? What would you tell her?
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I have several things Sally can do for me. And most of them are free and easy to do. So if Sally could not be able to buy my book and share it with the kids in her life, maybe she could um, borrow my books from the library, because that's really important, or request them. If the library doesn't carry your book, it's really important for authors to have their books in libraries, because that's how they gain fans. And so it really doesn't cost anything to request a book from your local library and check it out so that it's in circulation. The other thing is, but maybe, gift it to a teacher, elementary school teacher or librarian, just to enrich their classroom library. How school budgets are, and everybody is struggling in that direction. But it's always helpful if you are willing to gift a book to a teacher. And another simple thing is just leave a review for the author on Amazon or Goodreads, because that is very, very helpful. It's so important for a book to have over 50 reviews, so that is visible in the algorithm. And so that it takes a minute and just a few nice words, and there you go.
Awesome. Love it. I remembered my question.
Uh-huh.
So I personally will be like, kind of just going through my life. I enjoy the things I enjoy, but then I get really confused when people are doing stuff that I'm just like, how can anybody enjoy that? Like, how is that fun to anybody? Likewise, when you're writing children's books, you have to
Mhm.
relate to something a child would enjoy. So, how do you shift that mindset to kind of think about what a child would enjoy reading as you're writing your books?
Yes, well, like I mentioned before, I'm a mom of three, so just raising my kids and going through all the phases and interacting with their friends. I've been through all of these experiences, and let alone, I've been a kid too, so I can still remember what it was being a child, and what I liked and didn't like, and all of these things. So you can definitely draw from those personal experiences, and then the lives of the kids around you, and also reading a lot of books that already out there in the market, recently published, so that you stay current and you know what's out there, what the stories are about, how the market is changing, what kids are responding to, with all the electronics and everything. Books are definitely changing, and storytelling is not at all the same as it used to be, like 50, 60, or 100 years ago. So you have to stay current, and reading is an excellent way of doing that.
I love it. I remember reading some children's books, but I'm not at all up to date with some of the most recent ones. What are some of like the nowadays children's books that are like kind of all the kids are gonna be talking about them, like they'll know them when they're 20 years old?
Oh, wow. Well, so many books. Like, kids went crazy over Dragon's Law of Tacos, and the days the crayons quit, and so many books. Like, it's just too many to list. But I would encourage parents to go to the library. And well, one of my libraries used to have like the shelves just for the new releases. And so that's a great way to grab those new books, and also support, less famous authors, because not all the books make it to the big, bestsellers list and all of that. But it is important that um, people are aware of, other authors, not just the big names, and support them as well. Um, Even though they might be published by smaller houses, the books are still great and still deserve attention and to be in the hands of kids. So I would encourage parents to go beyond the what's already, super popular, and expose their kids to other books as well.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. I love it. And now we're going to jump into our Thriving Three. And our first question is, what is your favorite book, movie, or podcast? Pick one.
Oh, it's hard. Okay, well, let's go with book.
All right.
And if you're asking me about, like, not the children book, I love reading self-help and business books. So I would again mention one of them, because there are too many to list. But I would mention Jack Canfield's again. This time, his book is called The Success Principles. So it is for everyone, just not just writers, just for everyone wanting to have a growth mindset, and going after their goals.
Love it. And what is one way you like to take care of yourself?
Oh, just one way. I like many ways, but okay. Well, like I said, I would watch a funny movie, like at the end of the day, that just to recharge, and just maybe have a glass of wine, but I could have a massage or a pedicure, or just, go shopping with my daughter. It's just so many things.
Yeah, love it. And what is one action step you can take right now or continue to take if you're already doing it to meet and work with Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield?
Oh, well, I follow them. For one, I watch their YouTube videos, posts, stay current with Jack's material. I'm subscribed. So always learning from the ones who had great success. And the other is just implementing what I've learned, because as I teach my clients and my students, just knowing something is not enough. You have to apply it and implement whatever you've learned, and that's how you get results. Otherwise it was just, take you nowhere. But so try to implement every day. One of the things is, yeah, trying to connect with as many librarians as I can, so that I can visit those schools and meet the kids, and interact, and, you know, inspire them in so many ways. So that is an action step that I take every day, pretty much.
I love it. And now we're going to jump into our final series of questions. Now, I did not send these questions beforehand. So if you don't want to answer them, no sweat. Just be like, pass. I don't want to answer that question. And we will move
Okay.
right on. Cool. So the first question is, what is one limiting belief that continues to pop up in your life?
Oh, again, well, I am no immune to limiting beliefs, trust me. So,
Everybody
I
is.
have to work through those, just pretty much as everyone else, I'm guessing, but that I don't have what it takes, like that I'm not, you know, the best at this, or it's just so many things. It's just the imposter syndrome that I'm not advanced enough, or um yeah, pretty much don't have what it takes. But then I have to remind myself that it's a process, and I can still do what I do. It doesn't have to stop me.
I love it. I love it. And again, you can cut me off at any time. I'm just gonna ask some
You're
follow-up questions.
scaring me with this. How difficult are these questions?
So here's the thing. I typically the questions were not as personal, but I recently made them more personal. They used to be just about some
Oh,
abstract kind of philosophy things. And so I didn't
uh-huh.
send them beforehand because I just wanted some kind of off the top answers. I didn't want people Googling. But uh, so the first time I asked somebody these questions was literally an hour ago when I was recording another podcast.
Oh, lucky me. So you just put me on the spot like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you're the second person. So I don't really know how guests are gonna feel about not getting these questions beforehand. So that's why I keep giving the disclaimer.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So
I'll do my best.
the limiting belief you talked about was I don't have what it takes, the imposter syndrome. And where do you think it comes from for you personally?
Oh, just well, all of our things as for from everything I've read come from our childhood, up to the age of 7. You just believe what people tell you, the way they behave toward you, and all the you know, things that didn't work out, and then you make your own conclusions and you just storage that, and then you form those beliefs. But oh, okay. Well, yeah, childhood probably just failing or being super introverted and shy, and not having the support that I needed at the time. So, and always, observing that there's someone better maybe, or yeah, probably those things. It's really hard to pinpoint something,
Oh yeah, no, that was perfect. That was
but
perfect.
yeah.
Okay, what actions do you think reinforce this limiting belief in your life? So it's popping up frequently. Do you think you have actions from day to day that are reinforcing it?
The comparison monster, as they call it. You see someone who's ahead of you, and then you try and you start comparing, like your mind goes there. Oh, I should have achieved that already. Or how come, there people are already doing that and I'm behind, or things like that. But there's always going to be someone ahead of you. So it's really and again, those self-help books and those mentors and coaches help a lot, just to remind yourself to look back from what you've accomplished and where you are, compare yourself with yourself a few years back, just to get the motivation to see that you've come a long way, right? You've
Yeah.
accomplished things that maybe at one point you thought were not possible, especially for me, being an immigrant, and English not being my first language, coming to this country as an adult and starting to build a life from scratch pretty much, and starting a family and trying to adapt to the new country, new everything, and then trying to catch up with, because I didn't go to school here. And so I thought, people are already way ahead of me, way ahead of me. And then and now I have to, learn everything and then some. And the business is competitive. And then you try and if you go into that rabbit hole, it will keep on feeding your fears. But again, you have to find ways to overcome that and keep going. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's where my focus is now, to the things that I can control and I can do something about it and ask for help and receive help, because that was another thing, you don't ask for help, figure it out on your own. But no, there's nothing wrong with asking for help and having support. So that's what I try to do.
I love it.
That was a long answer to your question, but hey, at least I didn't say I passed.
No, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you actually answered the next question. It was going to be, what stories do you tell yourself to reinforce it? And that was the whole I wasn't born in this country. I didn't go to school here. There are people ahead of me. Like, those are some of the stories.
Yeah.
Last question on
Yeah.
the limiting beliefs, and then we'll move on to more positive, fun things. What emotions do you think you feel every day that reinforce this belief?
Oh, well, I try not to feel those emotions for a long time and just, switch back to where I'm focused on the positive
Mm-hmm.
and focused on what I want rather than what I don't want, because you would only attract more of that, right? But the thoughts, that sometimes creep up or just um similar, just you were asking about the thoughts, right?
Uh,
Or was it,
Actually, the emotions that the
oh, the
thoughts
emotions,
produce.
right, the emotions, like yeah, like disappointment, maybe that you're not um as advanced as you were hoping to be, maybe. um Sometimes it's like frustration that it's not coming fast enough, or um what other emotion, like impatience.
I
Definitely
feel that.
impatience,
I
yeah.
feel that one.
So yeah, you can find all of these things, but it's important to really not um give them that much time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you're a fan of Tony Robbins, he always says like, or maybe it's not Tony. It's either Tony or Eric Thomas who's like, feel it for like
Mm,
60 seconds. Feel it for like, give yourself 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Make a decision to live in a beautiful state is what Tony Robbins says. So yeah. When you catch those, like, do I want to stay with this? Is it helping me? Not really. So try to switch.
Love it. Well, now we are going to reframe that limiting belief into an abundant belief. And so the limiting belief was, I don't have what it takes. What would be the abundant version of that? And what actions would you take if you had that core belief?
Oh, that I'm good enough. And I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And I'm doing, and there's no failing, there's learning and there's progress always. And I would be bolder in my actions, and which I try to be now, would be more positive and focused on the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, and I would just take action from that place of alignment and of confidence and of knowing that it is happening and it's always working out for me. And I am exactly who I need to be because, there's one me, and I have my unique skills and way of helping others.
I love it. Well, awesome. We got one last question for you. So for this question, mm, I'm just going to give you the pretext first. So
Okay.
there's a common saying, and that saying is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, I recently had Dr. Alan Leica on the podcast. He was a guest on the show, and he said that you can make a horse drink, and you do it by salting the horse's oats. Now,
Okay, that is smart. Okay, I get it.
I know.
Nice.
So cool. So cool. Now, I want you to think of a person who has a really fixed mindset. They're not willing to accept help and they're not willing to accept change. How can we, you and I, create an environment to salt their oats and help them change their life?
By leading by example. Um, just staying in that positive state and demonstrating that if we put our minds to something, it's gonna happen. It's gonna we're gonna see progress and results, and we can even in the journey, we can feel joy and fulfillment, so that we enjoy it all, not just the end result, but the journey to that destination, and it never ends. There's always the next thing and the next thing, and that is natural. But just giving that example of being positive and cheerful and enjoying it, I think that would be contagious to that person. And maybe they would want to try it. Hey, these people are doing great, so can I try some of your
Yeah.
stuff? you know
No,
I think that would
absolutely.
help.
I love
Do
that answer.
you? Yeah.
I think that's a perfect answer. I think there's this poem by Marianne Williamson and it's I forget what it's called, but it starts out like our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And then it goes on. Yeah, you
I
know it?
just read that the other day. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she goes on to say like we by letting our own light shine, we give others permission to do the same. And so,
Absolutely. Well, there you go.
yeah,
There you go.
I
That's
think
exactly what I meant.
yeah, I think that's a perfect answer. Well, awesome. Rosie, that is all we have for you. Is there anything else you want to chat about before we sign off?
I'm just grateful to be here, and I wanted to encourage all listeners and viewers to just check out my books and support them in any way they can. Like I said, a simple review is just means a lot, and we appreciate those. And if there happen to be any librarians or teachers in the audience, I would love to connect and possibly visit your school and inspire your students. And if you are a writer, reach out to see if we may be a match to work together. I do have a retreat coming up in person, and it's a writer's retreat in Dallas. So I would invite people to check it out as well. But thank you so much for this interview.
Of course, of course. Thanks for coming on the show. And you guys heard her. If you liked who she was, liked what she had to say, make sure to check out her books, buy it, rate it on Amazon and Goodreads, send it to an elementary school teacher, order it at the library, whatever you have to do. All the links to do so will be down in the show notes. As we always ask, go ahead and shoot this podcast over to 1 to 3 people you know need to hear this message. Go ahead and give us a 5-star review on iTunes if you liked the show. And on that note, we're out.